In section 1.5, we talk about operations with variables and grouping symbols. So we're going to look at adding and subtracting like terms. So example number 1, we want to combine like terms. We have 5x squared y plus 10x squared y. Now in order to add the coefficients or the numbers together, our x's and y's have to be raised to the same power. So we have an x squared and an x squared, and we have y and y. And so that means that we can add the numbers out front together. So 5 plus 10, that gives me 15. And then we just want to copy the variables as they look. So x squared y. We don't want to add them together like x to the 4th and y squared. We just copy and paste. The only thing that changes is the numbers up front. Let's look at the next one. 7x squared minus 2x minus 8, and then plus x squared plus 5x minus 12. So looking for like terms, we've got 7x squared and x squared. We've got negative 2x and 5x. And we've got negative 8 and negative 12. So let's go ahead and add these together. We've got 7x squared plus x squared. That's going to give me 8x squared. We have negative 2x plus 5x, which is going to give me 3x. And negative 8 minus 12 is negative 20. Now be careful, we can't add an x squared and an x term together because the exponents are different. A lot of people will try to add them together and get x cubed. We can't do that. And for letter C, we have two like terms. We've got 1/3 x squared and it's negative 1/6 x squared. So let's just write those next to each other first. We've got 1/3 x squared minus 1/6 x squared plus that 1/4 x, which is just going to stay the way that it is. And to add or subtract fractions, we have to have a common denominator. So between that 3 and 6, we can make the 3 look like a 6 by multiplying by 2. So we have 2/6 x squared minus 1/6 x squared plus 1/4 x. And now we can just subtract, the numerators to make this one term. And so 2 minus 1 is going to give me 1. We keep the denominator the same. We still have our x squared and then plus 1/4 x. So your final answer is 1/6 x squared plus 1/4 x. Now let's talk about multiplying terms. So one of the rules we talked about previously is when we have the same base and we're multiplying, we add the exponents. That is going to come into play here. So 7x times x squared minus 3x minus 5. So we need to distribute the 7x to all three pieces. So we have 7x times x squared. We've got 7x times 3x. And we've got 7x times 5. And so let's look at this first term. We have a base of x, and we're multiplying so we can add the exponents. So we have 7x to the 1 plus 2. For the second term, we're going to multiply the 7 and 3 together, so we have 21. And then both of these have a power of 1. And we have the same base again, so we're just going to add the exponents. So we have 1 plus 1. And the last term, 7 times 5 is going to give me 35. And then we just have x. And so we just need to simplify a little bit here. We've got 7x cubed minus 21x squared minus 35x. What about the second one? We've got 2/3 times 6x squared minus 2x plus 3. So everything is going to get multiplied by 2/3. So we've got 2/3 times 6x squared. We've got 2/3 times 2x, and we've got 2/3 times 3. So we can simplify this a little bit. 3 goes into 6 2 times, and we have 1 left on the bottom. We can't really do anything with the second term, but the third one, we can take 3 out of both the top and the bottom, and that simplifies. So just as a reminder, for the second term that we couldn't simplify, we can always write this over 1. So now what we have is 2 times 2x squared, which gives me 4x squared. Then I have negative 2/3 times 2x. And so remember, when we multiply fractions, we multiply across the top, which is going to give me negative 4x over the bottom, which is going to give me 3. And then the last term, we have 2 times 1, which is just 2. And the last thing we're going to talk about is simplifying algebraic expressions. So this is just multiplying and distributing and then finally combining like terms, so it doesn't look so messy. So we have 5 times x minus 2y minus y plus 3x plus 5x minus 8y. So the first thing we want to do is distribute and get rid of the grouping symbols. So we're going to distribute the 5 in the first set of parentheses. In the second set, we want to make sure we distribute the negative to both pieces. And in the third, we can just simply ignore them. We don't have to even pretend they're there. So let's go ahead and multiply this out. We have 5 times x, and then we have 5 times 2y. Then we're going to distribute the negative and change the sign of the second set of parentheses. And so we end up with negative y and negative 3x. And then we're just going to rewrite the last set without the parentheses. So 5x minus 8y. Let's go ahead and simplify a little bit. We've got 5x minus 10y minus y minus 3x plus 5x minus 8y. And so now we need to combine like terms. So we have x terms and we have y terms. So we have 5x, negative 3x, and 5x. We've got negative 10y, negative y, and negative 8y. So adding the x values together, we have 5 minus 3, which is 2, and then 2 plus 5, which is 7. So we have 7x. And then for the y's, we have negative 10 minus 1, which is negative 11, and then negative 11 minus 8, which is negative 19y.